everyone. Welcome back to Stating the Obvious. I'm Viswa, and these are my friends. And we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled intro, starting with Noah. Please state something obvious.
Renee's bad at Valorant.
Quite
Yeah,
That's an
obvious.
obvious fact.
Yes.
Sticking with the theme there, Noah.
Yep.
Rip.
He
Unfortunate.
sucks.
Well,
Watching
I have
him.
gotten a bit better.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
You haven't,
yes, I
Renee.
have now. Yes, I have.
Watching you play Valorant is like watching a chimpanzee try to do algebra. It's sad and funny and kind of a tragedy of nature.
I
Have
thought
you
you were
seen
about
many
to say
chimpanzees try to do algebra?
No, I haven't, but I imagine it looks a lot like your Phoenix play.
Rope. Hey, that's kind of racist.
That's
That's racist. No.
How is that racist? You're the one who plays Phoenix
You
all the time.
closet racist.
We can't have racism on this podcast.
Okay.
So I think
well, I
we
guess
just
we're
have
done here then.
we have to head over to Brene's obvious fact, which I'm
Thank
sure
God.
he has readied in advance.
Okay,
Definitely
I have it ready this time. So, like the little blob of toothpaste on your toothbrush that actually has a name, and it's called a nurdle.
That's not obvious.
What?
Okay. Well, the fact that it has a name, there you go.
Who
Renee, do you know what
decided
the word
It's not
obvious even means?
Okay, it's not obvious, but it's interesting fact. It's obscure. I thought you might want to know. There you go.
Renee,
There it is.
Reading the obvious
Okay,
city
okay.
you're-
Holy crap. Okay, Jacob, save us. Please state something obvious.
I got a fairly decent fact that sticks with the theme, kind of like last episode.
Okay.
An animal is poisonous if you bite it and you die, but an animal is venomous if it bites you and then you die. There's a
I knew
distinction.
that already. Thank you for
Right.
stating the obvious.
Well,
But it is an
Yeah.
obvious fact, Noah. So
Mhm.
well, there you
That
go.
is
Yeah.
an easy way to remember
Flex-
that distinction.
Does that mean that when Eminem was singing Venom, that meant he was going to bite you and you were going to die?
It means if you bite him, you would not die, but if he bit you, you're dead.
So it is safe to bite Eminem, the rapper.
It is
Yes,
safe.
that is good to know. Just in case I ever get into
Just in
a
case you ever-
close-combat situation with Eminem.
Good for you, Noah. I'm sure you would win.
What? Okay. I don't like where this is going. Why would your
Alright,
first instinct be?
give us-
You know what? No. We're not going to talk about this anymore. We're going to talk about something vastly different. Sports. All kinds of sports.
All of these
Soccer.
sports.
Not a
Football,
lot of sports being
basketball.
played right now.
Yeah. Except esports,
Yeah.
Get online.
Yes. So
But I mean, people can play sports in their homes, get a pool table, billiard table, have some fun.
I
Go
know
into
you've
the
been playing a
backyard,
little bit of the
baseball.
billiards, Chip,
Yeah.
recently, or not
You've been playing
recently, but
billiards?
I mean, no, I haven't. You have.
Oh, no, I don't have a
Actually.
pool table. What are you?
I actually have a pool table, but I don't use it, so that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that's actually a tragedy. Imagine having a pool table and not using it. You're actually grotesque. You're a grotesque human
Well, I
being.
use the other side, which is a ping pong table. I'd much rather play ping pong than
Yeah, what a
than pool.
legit-
What do you know, laser? What is billiards?
dude. A gentleman's game is pool. You're just over here just smacking balls. Like
That's what we like to
sounds
do.
pretty gay to me.
It
Not
is-
that there's anything wrong with that.
we
Not that
can't
there's anything
have
wrong with that.
racism
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
homophobe.
What?
oh my god.
Noah,
Oh
Yeah,
my
you got
god.
the closet
I-
racist, you got the closet homophobe.
this podcast has suddenly become very problematic.
Either way,
I
on
was not the one
esports.
who implied there was something wrong with
Okay, what
smacking
the fuck?
balls.
You were the one who was already being racist against Renee's
You're
character.
the one who's being homophobic. We're all terrible people. You don't get to judge me.
You don't get to judge me either. Then
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not.
we
I'm
call
just
it even.
stating facts.
We're both terrible
I'm
people. Then
stating facts. That's
I'm
all
also
I'm doing.
stating
Stating
facts.
the obvious.
Yeah.
Roll
Okay.
credits.
Well,
All right, thanks
anyway,
everyone for listening.
I
That
don't
is
know. Oh my god.
okay. You know what,
Okay.
Renee? Here,
Yeah.
let me ask you something.
Okay. Ask me.
What sport do you think is the coolest?
That's an interesting thing.
Like
I mean,
the coolest
obviously.
to watch or the coolest to play? Either really.
Okay. Actually, let me do both. Coolest to play. I like soccer. I've always liked it. Indoor soccer, I actually think, is the coolest to play because it's a bit faster paced. Actually, I kind of like outdoor soccer too. Just soccer in general.
Okay.
That's my opinion. It's
second that.
kind of unfortunate. I haven't played in a really long time just because it requires like people to play with. So
And you don't
And
have.
you're a friendless, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense,
that's kind
okay.
of unfortunate.
For the longest time, for the last couple of years, me and PJ used to be on the same team, and I don't know, we popped off a little bit. We were pretty
And then
good.
the coach decided Pranay just wasn't good enough, or what
No,
happened?
and
there?
then we went to college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pranay
college sucked.
decided he wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
The coolest to watch. Huh. I'll say hype commentators are actually like, where's the place where they have the hypest commentators?
I
I
think
like
it's
watching. I
Mexican
like watching
soccer.
basketball a lot. Soccer, they also have like, well, like when stuff is happening, man. Like even
Oh,
like I like
yeah.
watching even when it's not happening. But actually, when stuff is happening, man, it's like so.
Yeah, but like stuff happens like
highlights.
every like 5-10 minutes. But like with basketball, something's always happening. Like I'd prefer watching basketball, but I like playing soccer. It's kind of. I think
Okay, so I
basketball
would
like
say like
is
soccer
more
highlights for
entertaining.
sure. Soccer highlights for sure.
We're
It's
talking
just
about
like
games here. We're not talking about highlights. If you just take the
okay, you
highlights
know
of
what?
anything, it'll seem interesting.
But like suck. But they have hype commentators, man. They actually do stuff. So I mean, basketball highlights, like it's just like literally every single play. It's like they're just compiling every single play. But soccer highlights, you're getting some quality stuff.
That's
I feel
real.
like I feel like me and PJ would appreciate soccer a little bit more just because we know how hard it is to do some of the stuff these guys are doing.
I
Like,
played soccer too. Hello,
yeah, but
Fliz.
you didn't play it as long as us. This is
What?
Sounds like we got some soccer supremacy going on here.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
like,
I'm
Bob's their closet
now.
soccer supremacist.
I'm not a closet
You-
soccer
Wow, dude.
supremacist. I'm
Is it because
outright.
I'm brown? Is that why?
Is that right?
Yes,
Wow,
Damn,
unbelievable.
I know.
I think you're honestly being a little bit racist there.
Yes.
You fool, such a fool. Okay, Noah, what about you? What do you even watch? Do you watch sports, Noah?
I watch the Super Bowl sometimes, not
A
usually.
better question for Noah. Is there any sport that you find just stupid, just completely dumb?
Oh,
Yeah.
good
All of
question.
them.
I'm gonna be real. I don't really get football. I don't understand why people play it. I don't understand like what's exciting about it. It's just people running at each other.
Is it the injury
Okay,
aspect of that?
I kind of honestly.
Actually,
I mean,
let me
okay,
give
look,
my just
man.
after
If
now.
I wanted to see like 300-pound men flinging themselves at each other, I would watch WWE because WWE has like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The
They
Undertaker.
have like a narrative.
Yeah. I mean, like, come on, man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really get football, soccer. I also don't really get just because,
Oh,
like,
Jacob's gonna
you
come
get
at
like,
you, dude.
look, man, like when an
gonna
exciting
supremacist
game
your
is
ass
like
now.
7-3. Is that how much Germany beat Brazil by?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, so that was just like a
Yeah.
blowout. Like there was no
Yeah,
point.
like if that's considered a blowout, I don't want to see what a normal game looks like.
Normal games are like 2-1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe like
All games,
3-2.
honestly, like they're like 1-1 or 0-0.
Kind of sad. I'm gonna be real. Like the only sports I really watch have been esports, and even those I found kind of dumb.
But the thing with soccer is it's like you can be watching the entire game, right? And you're just kind of watching these guys toss the ball. Like they're just kicking the ball all across the field. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go get a drink of water. And you get up, get a drink of water. And then all of a sudden everyone's screaming. It's like, go, go. And you're
That
just
is
like,
a rip. When you you're just like, oh
That is
shit.
quite a rip.
I
Yeah,
do
but
remember
this
though.
is like how it's going to happen. Like it's just inevitable. The game waits for you to get up in order for something interesting to happen.
Okay, but on football though, I will say I really haven't played until recently when I like intramural at flag football. But I will say it's boring when you're like when you don't have the ball, it's kind of boring. But like for my team, I was carrying my team, so like I had the ball every single play. So it was kind of fun. Not gonna lie.
Imagine Pranay carrying his team. I have
I
not seen that.
carried that team
I
in flag
can't.
football so
I mean,
hard.
yeah, I've only ever seen Pranay play Valorant and go in debate. So yeah, I haven't seen him carry his team ever.
Right. Okay, well you should see me play flag football. No, it's
Happy
you'll see a whole
Jacob
new me.
sounds. Happy Jacob noises.
Jacob's like thinking of a reality where Pranay carried Plano West GM. He's thinking about how
The
cool
last round, that last debate round, I will come back to that all the time. I will say I carried that round.
Practice round that didn't matter.
Just round at West. Cobb
What
did a
about
double turn, and
what about that round at
the double
Harvard
turn?
where
You
Jacob
know
popped up on him?
You know what? That was not a route I carried. There we go. That's not a route I
That's
carried.
around you through.
That was a
Ooh.
route I threw. Yes.
Going back to esports though, Noah, have you heard that the IOC is considering allowing esports in for the Olympics 2024?
think that's stupid.
International Olympic.
I think that's
Committee.
like honestly really stupid.
But you know their rationale behind it
What?
is the Olympics, like the viewership is dying. Like not as many people are watching as
So
they used to. They
I'm
need
just-
that like revenue.
So they're like, oh, yeah, what do them kids like these days? Oh,
The
that
gamers.
Fortnite. Yeah, the Fortnite. Yeah, let's get that here.
Yeah, they are very good.
Cringe.
They're considering taking esports over chess, which begs the question: is do you think chess should be included as an Olympic event?
No.
I
Oh,
I think
no.
chess is a sport, first of all.
Okay, like I think my opinion, the criterion for whether or not it should be considered an Olympic sport is, can a Russian win it by taking anabolic steroids? If the answer is yes, it should be in the Olympics. If the answer is no, it should not. Like that's straight up, like that's just my answer.
I buy.
Yo, what if he just enhances his gaming abilities? He just gets aimbot ingrained into his brain, man.
No, that's not how it works. Like if you take like steroids and you try to play like a game of like yeah, your aim might be better, but you're probably also going to be like
Who
super
said-
roided out.
Who
like,
said
unable-
Gary Kasparov did not take anabolic steroids?
Yeah, I mean,
what
have
if he's kind of OP?
you seen Gary Kasparov? The guy's like
Actually, yeah,
literally
I have
just a
seen
piece
him.
of wet toilet paper. He's like the guy did not take steroids. I can promise you that.
I will say I play chess, but I also agree it should not. I don't think it's a sport. Like, I mean, it's not a sport in the sense.
If it's not a
It's
sport,
like-
what is it?
It's just like a thing, man. It's just something you
I
do.
mean,
It's
like,
like
I guess like you could define
Would you
like
define it as a
sport.
hobby activity?
Okay. I would say like the Olympics.
everything can be a
isn't for-
hobby.
It's for athletic sports, as well. So.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
You're
like,
right,
also, I mean, it's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Also, I think including chess in the Olympics would not many people would watch it.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, the chess world already has like a well-founded set of like competitions and stuff. Like, they don't need the IOC just like jumping in and be like, hey, you want to come to Tokyo?
Well,
Like,
That's true.
they're doing fine on their own. Like, they don't need anybody's help.
that's fair. Yeah. So, what do you consider chess then, Noah?
I mean, I'll consider it a sport in the sense that like sports are like competitions, but I would not consider it like an athletic competition.
Yeah. I'd say the same thing kind of goes for pool. Like pool has its own sort of like its own leagues and its own sort of like you have like the Mosconi Cup. You have its own sort of like sector for it, and I think like that's fine. It doesn't need to be like in the
So,
Olympics necessarily.
Jit, let me ask you. You've been getting into pool recently a lot, right?
I like pool very much. Yes, this is true.
Pool is a more obscure, very niche sport. So, how did you get into pool?
Oh, so well at my university, basically like whenever I'm not in class, I would go to this like pub place and they had a pool table and I would literally just spend all my time there at the pool table with my friends and we would just like play pool because there was literally nothing else to do.
Sounds like a shining recommendation to me. Pool. You have nothing else to do? Literally nothing else? You should try it.
Yeah, but you
So
know,
you did it completely out of boredom.
well, I started doing it completely out of boredom, and then we became super invested in it, and we'd like 1v1 each other, and we'd keep calling emergencies. First was a best of 3, and I'd be like emergency best of 5, and they'd be like emergency best of 7, and we'd be playing to like best of like 13 or something stupid.
Interesting.
And are you good?
It would get
Are you good now,
super
Jit?
heated.
Are you
Like
good now?
I'd say like I'm decent, but I don't really get the chance. Like right now, I haven't played pool in like a while because quarantine and stuff, and I don't have a pool table, unlike Pranay. So I haven't gotten the chance to practice, but I think it is really interesting. Lots of cool things you can do. It's just a good game.
All right.
There's
That
really
is-
nothing else to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody should play pool, I guess.
I think
Yeah.
it's something everyone should like at least learn a little bit about. You don't have to become like the next like Efren Reyes or whatever, like the next like best pool player in the world. But I think it's like even at like parties and stuff, right? You'll see like people have like pool tables at their houses and stuff. So it's just fun. and
It's
it's
like a party trick, something you can just, look, I do
you can
this
flex
too.
on people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
But after all these sports, we have esports, chess, soccer, basketball. Would you consider speedrunning a sport?
Ah, and speedrunning, you mean like gaming speedrunning and stuff, right?
No, I mean just running, speedrunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I
I mean,
mean
Usain
gaming
Bolt is
speedrunning.
Usain Bolt is an athlete. He
Of
has
course, I
won many
mean
medals.
gaming speedrunning, Renee.
Uh, I- that's also kind of interesting. Like, I feel like speedrunning is so much different from the original game. It wouldn't even be like in a category of the actual game. Like, it would be in a category of its own.
Would it just be like a subset of esports? So like you could have competitions and then, like for the regular game, and then you could have like a speed run sort of part of it as well.
Yeah, that could be kind of thing. And there's like even within speedrunning, there's so many different types. Like for a specific game, like the classic example, like what a lot of speedrunners do is like Super Mario Galaxy. They have like speedrunning using this certain tech, speedrunning not using this tech, speedrunning like and there's like a whole bunch of different things. I'm not a speedrunner myself and I don't know that much super a lot into it. I occasionally watch one like streamer slash YouTuber who uh called Small Ant. I would highly recommend. He does a lot of really cool stuff, but who does this kind of things? But like even like and like the game utilizes like speedrunning utilizes so many glitches that like the original developers didn't even want in the like game. Like it honestly is not it's not even the same game at
Yeah,
some point.
true.
Like I remember
I think
watching one like game developers react to speedrun of Doom or something, and they're like cringing so much as they saw like the player just like take advantage of all these things that they made in the game, and they're just like, oh my god, I didn't believe like you could do this. Like we have to fix that next patch or something.
Honestly, I think
but
speedrunning is like kind of dumb. Here's why, right?
wait, I
Like,
think first we should at least like explain to listeners who don't know what speedrunning is.
I
Like
agree, actually. Good to
explain what it is. Yeah. So speedrunning is like if you're playing a game and there's like a certain map or something. So like in like the regular Mario games, you have to get through the entire level and make it to the end of the level. And speedrunning is just doing that as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. So like there's for each game it's sort of different, but generally like the idea is just beating a level or a map or something like that as quickly and efficiently as possible.
But this is like insanely fast. Like this is like people who beat the entirety of Minecraft within like 5 minutes. Like there are
And
speedruns of that online.
yeah, man, like you have to beat the Ender Dragon, which usually, like normally, you do a lot of stuff, a lot of grinding, a lot of like getting materials and stuff. But these people, they just finish it in 5 minutes. I first told Cobb about Minecraft speedruns, and he was just like, how's that possible? Because you have to grind for all these different materials and actually like get different things.
That's
But
actually what I'm literally thinking in my head right now. Like I've never heard of this Minecraft speedrun, but
okay, yeah,
This guy did it in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. He beat the entirety of the game. But like people spend years on. He beat it in
okay,
4
be right
minutes.
back. Gonna watch this video.
Well, in the meantime, I will explain why speedrunning is super dumb. Don't get me wrong, it's like super cool. It's cool to look at. It makes a great video, but it's just such a huge waste of time. Like that Minecraft one that I was talking about, in the description of his video, he said it took him over about like 13,500 tries to get it right. Which just, if each of them was 4 minutes, even if they were just 4 minutes straight, that would take him like over 37 days straight just playing the game, which just sounds like a huge waste of time to me. I don't know.
mean, by that logic, playing like any game is a waste of time, which it kind of is, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, but that's like playing a game is fun and you get a fun experience every time. After the first like 1,000 attempts, now it's just like you have to get this done and it's like boring. It's like very
I mean,
monotonous.
maybe for you, but like for
I
these
think it's
people,
different, Cobb. Yeah, because
yeah,
like
for these
when yeah, you go now.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's about mastery, right? Like a lot of like these speedrunning techs, like they require you to be like literally pixel perfect in accuracy. It's kind of like chasing like the high of like actually getting it done. Because like sure you're gonna be grinding for like thousands and thousands of tries, but like imagine like after you grind those thousands of tries actually succeeding Imagine how good that's gonna feel.
Yeah, but have you ever seen like the speedrunners like when they fail and how ragey they get? Honestly, that's kind of funny, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it's worth all the rage.
I mean, I've seen Viswa get ragey about like the smallest things, so
Yeah, but for
I
him,
don't
it
think
has-
his limits.
Dude, sometimes my teams are just so bad. Like I don't even understand how you can be that bad. Like whatever.
As you can
Exactly.
see,
it doesn't
Just
matter.
comes back in. He hears his name. He hears rage. He has to give him the input.
I will say, however, what Pranay said about Smallant, his challenge is like actually like pretty interesting. He does a lot of Pokemon challenges, Noah. And there's this one Pokemon challenge that he did that is by far my favorite speedrun of all time.
I mean, it's not a
And-
speed run. It's just like a challenge
It's
run.
like a
like, what do you
challenge,
do?
but he beat the entirety of which Pokemon game was it, PJ?
You beat platinum.
Pokemon Platinum, the entirety of the game from beginning to end without losing a single HP point.
Damn.
The entirety of the game.
Yeah. Let me tell you like what goes into this. So, until you remember the daycare center, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah,
where
just explain what the daycare center does.
the daycare center essentially you can just put your
I
Pokemon
mean,
in.
I don't think he needs to really explain because, like, if our
Yeah.
if our listeners like don't play Pokemon, they probably don't give a shit about it anyways.
Either way, skip a couple of minutes if you don't know about Pokemon. But either way, the daycare center, you go
Timestamp in the
in.
description? Question mark.
Yeah. Okay. What? You go in, you get all your Pokemon. You can run around and level up, and like once you get to that point, it becomes a little bit easier. It's still fairly hard because there's. I'll explain that a little bit on, but early on, in order to not take a single hit point of damage, you have to get like past the first couple of routes, right?
Sure.
And on these routes, there are a lot of Pokemon that you can't one shot, and because your Pokemon are also very low, and you can't, and they all have priority moves like Quick Attack or Aqua Jet or something like that, which means they move before you. You can't one shot it, and you're a very low level. So like for example, at the very first route, he has to wait for like a 3% chance of fighting a Kricketot, and then he has to grind his Turtwig into a Grotle, like a level 22 Grotle, by only finding a 3% chance of this Kricketot that only appears during the night times.
Ah.
And like he has to get both, I think a Grotle and a Staravia by doing this. And like after that he has to go and beat all the gyms. And like beating the gyms, there are a lot of Pokemon with priority moves, so he has to get his Pokemon other priority moves too. And he has to like know which trainers have Pokemon that know priority moves in order to like to make sure that he hits the priority move before and one shots them also.
All right. Well, leaving that very in-depth explanation on how to not lose any hit points in Pokemon. Do we just want to turn it over to our next segment, or is there anything left there, Renee?
Go check out Smallant. He's OP.
Okay.
All right.
Cool personality too.
Sure.
This is not
Listeners can do
sponsored,
that.
but
Should
if
be.
you want to sponsor us, like, yeah, you should.
I
honestly-
don't know if he can sponsor us, but sure, if he wants to, then go
Alright.
ahead.
PJ literally just gave him the biggest
I'll-
plug of his
I'll
life.
accept the Valorant skins if he sends me the Elder Flame collection. I'll say that we're good.
Send me
No,
the
you're
Prime
kind of
collection.
obsessed with Val, man.
Yeah, no, it's kind of addictive.
I'm not going to contest that.
Okay, okay, Jim.
Okay, well, moving on to our new segment of this. I don't know if it'll be a segment in the future, but it's a new segment right now, and it's the Unsolved Mysteries segment. So we're just gonna let's make some sound effects. Come on, you guys suck. Oh, Noah's the only one who made sound effects.
Ooh.
Don't worry, I'll add it in later.
Spooky.
Add it in post. Very
I'll
nice.
add it in post because I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, very
Oh
good.
my god, you guys are dumb.
It's fine. Anyways, for our listeners, we're just gonna read off a mystery that we found on the interwebs, and we're just gonna have a nice discussion about it. So, this one is called the Oakville Blob, and you can look it up for yourself afterwards if you want to. There's pretty good Medium article about it. But in 1994, there was a rainstorm in Oakville and in the city of Oakville, and only the raindrops in quotation marks, were a strange clear substance that had the consistency of jello. And so lots of people experienced flu-like symptoms after coming into contact with it, and people's dogs and cats all over the city were dying after being exposed to these raindrops. So when a local hospital ran a lab test on the substance after one of the patients suggested it, it was found that whatever this mysterious rain was, it had human white blood cells in it. So sometime after that, a sample was sent to the Washington State Health Laboratory, where it was being researched by an epidemiologist, Mike McDowell. After he determined that it was man-made and speculated that it was some sort of matrix for transporting viruses and bacteria, the samples suddenly went missing from the containment facility, and his supervisor told him to not ask any questions. There are no known samples of the stuff anywhere today, despite being sent to several different facilities by various Oakville residents. So this, obviously brings up a couple of questions, like if this was some kind of bioweapon test run, who was it by? Was it by the US government here? And are they testing it on their own citizens, or is it like some big cover up? What do y'all think? Because they managed to make, whoever did this, since it was man-made, managed to make this raindrop go over the city for several days, an entire city for several days. So any theories, any
I mean,
points?
I think it's pretty obviously just a bioweapons test by the U.S.
wow,
government.
Okay, going on
I
strong.
mean, like, okay, look, this is not even the first time that the U.S. government has like used a bioweapons test on a U.S. city. Like back in the 50s, right? The government tried to decide like that they want to see the potential effects of a Russian bioweapon attack on a U.S. city. So they sprayed San Francisco with like a quote unquote safe bacteria to see what would get infected. Turns out the bacteria really wasn't that safe. It gave some people some flu infections, some children died, yada yada. Nobody really cared about it because Cold War, all covered up. I mean, everybody involved either forgot or they died. So, I mean, like, honestly, I would not be surprised if it was just a bioweapons test and, like, the government was like, hey, let's just, drop some bioweapons on the city, see what happens. Or it could have just been an accident. I mean, like, we have dropped several nuclear bombs.
I've searched
by
this thing
accident.
up, and wow, it's a very big story, too.
What,
The San Francisco bioweapon attack.
Oh, yeah.
Operation Sea Spray.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
actually right in the comments. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's like the fact that like the Tuskegee tests where people in like Tuskegee were like given like I think it was syphilis just to see what would happen, which is like honestly fucked up. There was like MK Ultra where the CIA used a bunch of like LSD, different drugs like hypnotherapy, all this shit to try and like basically create like Manchurian candidates. And it turns out like one of the people that they tested on was like the Unabomber. So there's like a possibility that it made him go crazy or whatever. I mean, basically, the U.S. government is no stranger to testing its own weapons on its own citizens. Like, there's really nothing stopping them from like using a bioweapon on a U.S. city. I mean, that's like not even like considering the possibility that it was just an accident. I mean, like there's been like several cases where like we've just dropped nuclear bombs in like random locations on accident. Like there was a time where like I think it was like Charlottesville or Charleston, someplace in the Carolinas got like nuked by accident. They found the hydrogen bomb, and turns out the only reason why it didn't go off was like one fuse, like one safety switch didn't get flipped. Had that switch gone off, like basically we would have nuked our own city.
Well, that's why it's a safety switch.
Yeah.
I will say also, like we already know how to like make clouds and make it rain, pretty much.
Make it rain.
I forgot the exact like how they do it. I forgot exactly how they do it, but I remember
It
learning
can be
about
done.
this in APES and AP
AP.
Environmental Science.
Yes, Greek class.
So that is not super difficult to do. I don't remember when they figured out how to do it, but I feel like this is a thing they can do. I didn't know that there's so many instances of like the US doing biotests on people.
So do you think the U.S. has ever actually? So, Jit, how long ago was this?
I believe this was in 1994. So
All right, so fair bit, like 20, 25 years from now.
yeah, just 25 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah.
Noah,
What?
So, do you think that the U.S. has ever used this weapon and no one's saying anything about it, though?
That's hard to say. I mean, like, hypothetically, you would only like use something like a bioweapon, like a WMD, in a situation where it's like all-out war. I mean, like, of course, there's a possibility that they're trying to engineer it, so it's not like it's basically non-traceable, or like a bioweapon that like nobody would actually know is a bioweapon. But like you would have to like question like, no, what situation would like actually call for that, right? Like, you're not gonna like launch a bioweapon into Iraq or something to take care of like Al Qaeda. Like, that would just be completely disproportionate. And if it like no, it might actually cause like another country like Russia or China to use it against us. So I doubt that if this is actually a bioweapon that's ever been used in combat. Like, there's just simply no reason, right? Like, we have like Navy SEALs, we have like the Marines. Like, honestly, using regular bombs is good enough for most situations.
Well, then, no. Okay, so they're just keeping it in the vault, waiting for a good chance to use it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Why do you think they just make all these like weapons instead of just like? I mean, I assume like they're probably preparing for some one day when they're gonna have to go out like all out war and shit. But
Won't
I
a
mean-
couple nukes suffice for that?
yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, what doesn't like at some point there's probably one point where you just like it's where pretty useless making more stuff.
I mean, yeah, but it's like our dick's gotta be bigger than theirs. So we can't
Yeah,
let
that's
Russia
true, that's
win,
true.
right?
This
I mean,
is
Russia's
true.
got weapons.
Hashtag Cold War.
Basically,
But
the Cold War was won by flexing much harder than Russia.
that's on.
Cold War was won because Russia collapsed under the weight of its own
Yeah, but
inefficiency.
okay, that's the way we fought the Cold War.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not like that way of fighting's ever going away.
Yeah. You guys want to hear one more mystery, or should we just?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do another.
Okay, one more mystery. This one's a bit darker, so bear with
Okay.
me. It's called the Circleville Letters. In 1976, residents of the small city south of Columbus, Ohio, began receiving handwritten, sinister, and graphic letters. Each letter included secret and dark details about their personal lives. One resident received a ton of letters accusing her of various unsavory acts. The author warned the resident that he had been keeping an eye on her home, as well as her comings and goings. The resident was horrified and tried to keep the letters a secret until her husband began receiving them. The attacks on the family continued, with large posters appearing around town spreading rumors about their 12-year-old child. One day in 1977, the husband left the house after receiving a call from who he thought was writing the letters. A few minutes later, the husband was found dead at the end of the street behind the wheel. The sheriff had ruled it a homicide when he realized that a single shot had been fired before the accident, but there was no evidence that the husband was shot at the site. The sheriff found the husband was twice the legal limit and ruled it a drunk driving accident. The letters began once again, this time accusing the sheriff of covering up the true nature of the death. The letters also accused the sheriff of mishandling an investigation into the county coroner, who had been accused of other grotesque acts. The harassment continued, this time with signs along the road, and in 1983, the original resident who had been accused of having an affair pulled over to remove a sign. During the effort to remove the sign, she discovered a box was attached, and inside of it was a small pistol. The gun was part of a booby trap designed to fire when the sign was removed. Then someone named Paul Fresher was arrested and given 25 years, but this one small problem with that was the letters continued being written even after he was put in jail. And in a new batch of letters, the author had promised to dig up the grave of a deceased baby and mail the bones to the police in the case of another potential affair turned murder. Hundreds of residents continued to receive personal letters until 1994, when everything stopped. And that's
What the heck?
that's the story of the Circleville. Letters.
Huh.
Huh.
Maybe
Not
Paul
all
Fresher
things
he, like
involved.
scheduled these letters in advance. Oh, but like they were probably. I feel like they probably would be about stuff that happened even after he went into jail, so maybe not.
Yo, what
Yeah,
the heck?
it's
That's
kind of
like-
crazy.
Kind of like that's like a movie, not like real
It
life.
reminds me of that movie Seven with like Morgan
oh yes.
Freeman. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I
And
like
like
that movie.
who was it? Was it Kevin Spacey who was playing
But it was
the crazy?
based on
was-
well,
yeah,
it was
Kevin
like
Spacey
Seventh
was playing
Sense,
that.
right? And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what the criminal was.
What's in the box?
Yeah. Wait, what is this? What was the guy's name again, Jith? Paul?
The man they arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Freshour.
Fresh Hour. What?
Like like FRESHOUR. Like
Yeah.
fresh hour.
Yeah, that's kind of whack, man. Not gonna lie.
It's actually crazy.
I don't
I mean,
know, like,
that
I'm
wouldn't
just
really
thinking,
work these days because nobody actually reads their mail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a month, like a year later, you open it up and the guy's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you tomorrow if, or like meet me at like this address," and you're just like, "Oh shit, I guess I missed it."
Right back, like, I'm sorry I missed your last letter.
Yeah,
You
it's
want to
like-
meet up sometime this week? Is Friday good for you?
Like at first, like I thought it might have just been like a kid trolling around, but like probably not.
It's probably some crazy dude, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how
but
does he know
all
like,
of these were handwritten letters, and he had various details about their personal life.
I guess,
There's
like,
this
I mean,
conspiracy.
like,
There's the
how-
NSA.
how dedicated would you need to be to, like, really figure out what's going on in people's personal lives?
I mean, theoretically, right? He'd been watching all these residents. He'd been keeping an eye on their comings and goings, but he did this to several people. Like hundreds
Yeah.
of residents got these
mhm.
personal letters. So it's just like if it's one dude, that's honestly
That's
like
true.
impressive. The amount
I mean,
of like
it
stuff.
doesn't have to be one dude, though. It can be a group of people.
could be.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
I
no
guess-
one
Like,
really
if you
knows, right? It
have,
all
like, a
started in
group of people
1994.
is maybe a bit more likely that if you arrest one guy, like the other group of people can continue to do stuff.
I mean, like, hypothetically, like, would it really be that hard to, like, figure out people's, like, deep, dark secrets? Because, like, I think, like, I mean, part of it is that, like, people just don't really necessarily tend to bother to figure out people's secrets. So, I mean, can't really say it's...
It is like a Zodiac killer-ish story. Some people thought it was actually the sheriff, but that's been disproven since then. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
also
Imagine just getting a letter with like all your secrets and a bunch of stuff about your personal lives. I don't know. That would scare the shit out of me.
I mean, like, honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised these days. I'd be like, oh, good job, you hacked Google.
But like back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, like, back then, that would have been kind of whack. Like, not gonna lie,
Also,
but...
they were not just like talk. They like actually did stuff. They like acted upon what they said they were gonna do.
Yeah, that's fair. I
all
mean...
handwritten letters too. It's kind of like
okay, wait. I mean, you say that like handwriting a letter is a hard thing too. You're
I'm
like,
not-
oh yeah,
I'm not saying it's hard, but when he does it for hundreds of people with all of their personal details, and then the person they arrested doesn't match like the sample, kind of sus.
that's true. I don't
So
know. Like,
it just like stopped in whatever
Like
94.
the only really true way to like nail him is like match the handwriting sample, but because like
Oh, I'm looking at this too, and apparently even Paul, the guy they arrested, got a letter too.
Huh.
mhm.
Well, I mean, they could have just
he
said
could have
that
sent it to himself.
yeah,
Like
That is true.
doesn't really
Big
prove
range it.
anything.
Well,
yeah, and I think you know how BuzzFeed does unsolved mysteries? They have an episode on this as well. If you guys ever,
What did they talk about?
they just sort of recite the story and kind of what happened and postulate some more theories. It's
I don't
interesting.
know why, but like every time I hear something like creepy from like the 50s, 60s, or 70s America, it's always about like, oh man, the suburb that everybody thinks is like all perfect and shit really isn't. Everybody there's a terrible person, and I'm like, yeah, people are shitty. Surprise.
Yeah, but this is kind of creepy, Noah.
I mean, like, I guess it's like just kind of like living in the information age. Like, you kind of get desensitized to it, but like, honestly, it's, I guess, like, if you're receiving information like about your personal life, like, I wouldn't really care too much unless like I actually had something to hide. But
Yeah, but it's not the information. It's like they acted upon that. They like killed people, which
Yeah.
is like
yeah, but like just don't follow people to random locations. Oh.
Lol.
yeah. They were like,
Hilarious. Laugh out loud, everyone.
this dude was like, yeah, if you don't
I
come
mean,
here, this
Receive
dude
like
was like, if you don't come here, I'm gonna kill your wife and kid. So what do you do then?
I mean, like A, call the police. B, like lock up your house, lock up your wife, lock up your kids. They're coming for everybody.
Yeah, kind of sus, Noah.
I mean, like you have like I mean, like I don't know. To me, it
Maybe
sounds
you
like
just die. I don't know.
I mean, like you start receiving letters like that these days. It's probably spam mail.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if I got a letter like that, I wouldn't even read it. I'd just like toss it out. Be like, yeah,
Mark
I don't
as
know.
spam.
Honestly, I don't even look at the mail.
Yeah.
My mom grabs the mail, and if anything's for me, she just gives it to me, and that's kind of
And
like
like my parents tell me to get the mail, I get the mail. Like it's usually magazines. Like there were so
Magazines
many
and mail.
magazines for so many random things. Like honestly, kind of sad. Especially because I don't think anybody reads them.
true. Rip magazines,
Or
2020.
read magazines. The only thing sadder than working at a magazine is working at a magazine nobody reads.
But that's all magazines. Wait a second.
A lot of magazines are going online though, which I think people would
Yeah.
read that.
I mean, like, but the thing is, like, magazines online, like, you have to actually go out looking for them, right? It's not like it's going to be directly delivered to your front door.
Fair, but like I think if you like have a subscription to a magazine, they might like email it to you or something.
That's true.
Which like in that case, maybe you read it.
I don't
Um,
know.
This one mystery makes me kind of sad. It's this one's pretty short. If you guys want to hear it,
Sure.
Sure.
it's called the Overtoun Bridge. It's a
Mhm.
bridge in Scotland where dogs always unexplainably just jump off the bridge.
Rip.
It's very strange, and nobody knows for certain why they do this. But dogs who survive the jump reportedly walk back up and jump off again. So
Damn.
they even had to put up a warning sign after this to keep your dogs on a leash and to watch them. And a lot of theories say maybe it's because of some certain scents or animals or
Wait.
something. But a lot
Wait,
of
okay, wait, hold on. So, like, dogs jump off the bridge, and their solution is to put up a sign?
yeah.
To warn
Put
your-
up a
like,
fucking
warn-
wall,
to
man!
warn-
Like,
But that is also true.
dogs, or like, put like a door or something. Dogs don't have opposable thumbs. Like, like, what the fuck?
One theory is that it has something to do with like the bridge's shape and the resonant frequency creating sounds that only the dogs can hear, and then they get like they kind of just go insane listening to the sound.
Yeah. Like, you put up like a microphone, you like take in the sound, you do some decoding, and you just hear like, do a flip.
Jumps off the bridge.
But then why would they walk back up and jump again?
That's crazy.
I don't know, man.
It's just
Like-
like do flip again.
There is like, isn't there like some kind of like bridge in like Japan or something that like people keep jumping off of, or was that like some? I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot of bridges that people jump off of.
I think in Japan there is something called like the suicide forest, in which
Oh yeah, like Jake Paul
Yeah, that's a
visited
different
that
thing.
with like this dumbass hat.
Yeah.
Dude,
Mhm.
honestly, like if Jake Paul and Logan Paul jumped off a bridge, I would not feel too bad for them.
Rip Jake Paul.
They should do a flip.
do a flip.
Flip again.
Isn't that the one where like that was like the really the one that he was not being sensitive, and like that's when
Yeah,
he
that was the
started
one. That was the
cutting.
one.
I see.
Yeah.
I remember it now.
I don't know, man. Like, they're honestly bad people who should not have a platform, but they do because people are stupid.
People are stupid.
Yeah,
And-
that is not unexplained. That is not an unexplained mystery.
Yeah, it's really not a mystery. People are cringe too a lot of the times.
Oh yeah.
And if you've ever seen like the first season of The Office, dude, it's like honestly like a lot of people don't end up watching The Office just because the first season is so cringe.
Honestly, that was me. I tried watching the
You get
first
used to it.
episode.
Like
I could not
that's
get
like
through
that's the allure in it.
It gets, actually, after the first season, it gets a lot better and a lot more interesting. But you kind of just have to power through the first season like cringe.
I can't. Like when I see like cringe on like TV or in movies, I just feel that, you know?
I
And, like it's
can't.
not a good feeling.
It's kind of hard to kind of walk through cringe or like watch through cringe. But dude, like with The Office, it's definitely worth it because that show is just so good.
I don't know,
So when
man.
does it get good? What season?
I'd say like after you get past the first season, it starts getting good, and then you get to this episode called Scott's Tots, and then you just cringe.
Oh,
That is the most cringe episode
Oh my god.
in the history of the show. Oh, it actually like I like if I ever rewatch whenever I rewatch The Office, I have to skip it. I absolutely have to skip Scott's Tots.
Okay, wait. When you say Scott's Tots, is it like Scott's Tots as in like toddlers, or Scott's Tots as in tater tots?
So like
Did you explain it? You
so
explain
like
this.
the plot behind the episode was Michael Scott, who's like the manager of Dunder Mifflin in The Office, which is like the company, you know, that the whole
Sure.
show is based around. So Michael Scott's the manager, and back, like it doesn't happen in present time, but at some point he promised like a group of like tots, you know, so like younger children, like still in grade
Right.
school, like fourth grade or fifth grade or something. He promised to pay for all their colleges because he
Okay.
thought he would become like very rich and move very high up in the company and stuff.
Okay.
So like 10 years later, when they're all graduating from high school and they need to go to college, they're all expecting, you know, that
Uh,
that Michael is going to pay for all their colleges. And they were like part of like the class that was known as like Scott's Tots. And there's like a newspaper article about it. And like a lot of these kids, you know, they avoided like getting drunk or like, you know, just doing bad things because they knew that they would have like the opportunity to go to college and have it all be paid for. So, but Michael is still in the same position he is 10 years later. So he can't pay for it. And you just kind of have to watch him go and explain it. And it's, oh,
I
cringe.
hate to see that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
hate-
and instead of like college education, he gives them calculators. And, I mean, not calculators. He gives them batteries for their calculators, or batteries for the laptops or something.
It's so bad.
You know, this
Honestly,
wouldn't be
that
a problem if
sounds
we just paid
incredibly
for
bad.
people's colleges.
It's so bad. I can't. That episode literally hurts my soul.
Damn.
Yeah, but that kind of cringe, like you
Honestly,
can't.
like that kind of cringe isn't even funny. It's just sad.
It's just you can't watch it. Like I skipped that episode. You can't watch it. Like it's just terrible. I don't know. It's just terrible. But there's like a different kind of. There's like different kinds of cringe. Do you know what I mean? Like there's the Office kind of cringe. But if you watch like other like drama kind of TV shows, like there's like the cringe where you know one person finds out that they were cheating on like the other person, and there's like different kinds of cringe. Y'all agree or am I the
There's
one?
like fun cringes. There are cringes that are just like physically hurt you. And there's some that just make you like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, dude, I did that when I watched Gossip Girl. I tried to get Renee to watch Gossip Girl, but he didn't. Gossip Girl, great show, 10 out of 10, would recommend. There's like a lot of like cringe moments, like where people find out stuff, and I find those the hardest to watch. Sometimes I'll just pause and like take a breather, and then we go.
Like I remember when I was a kid, like I used to like literally like bury my head like in whatever chair I was sitting in, like an ostrich, whenever I just couldn't handle the cringe anymore.
What the heck?
Yeah, I would just like try to like shut out like all the senses. Like I can't see it, I can't hear it, it's not happening, I can't feel it.
What kind of cringe moments made you do that, Noah?
Literally anything that was like just like super embarrassing for like whatever character was like being unfortunately inflicted upon by the writers.
Yep.
I mean, like I just
some shows I honestly do like. They're very funny and they like avoid the cringe as well.
like I feel like Parks and Rec is similar-ish to The Office, but I think it has like a lot less cringe moments.
Yeah, a
Because-
lot less.
yeah.
Definitely less.
Oh yeah, because like people are like stupid, right? But like when they get like when like their stupidity like catches up to them, it's not sad because they kind of deserve it, right? like Tom, I think is a good example. Like
Hey,
Tom's like
don't hate on my boy Aziz.
I'm not hating on Aziz Ansari. I'm just saying like, Tom the country, like Tom the character is like is kind of a dumbass, right? But like, and so like whenever his dumbassery like catches up to him, like you don't feel bad for him. It's funny because he deserves it. Like he brought this upon himself. But I mean, like when like Scott's tots, I guess like when like kind of like Michael Scott
Oh,
like
God.
not being able to afford like college, like that's not like him being stupid. I mean, I guess it kind of is because he didn't really think ahead, but like
It
that's
is
just
very
like
much him being stupid.
I mean, like that's him being stupid, like in that like he failed to achieve his hopes and dreams, and like that's honestly going to be most of us at the end of our lives. So
Wow.
Insight with Noah.
I'm just saying, like most people, like the vast majority of people, are not going to be like super successful. And you
But
have to kind of learn to deal with
sticking on
that.
this path of TV shows, right? Desert Island, you get 3 TV shows. Go.
Just
For the rest of your life, you get 3 TV shows.
I will
I
say I
mean-
have to say Office. I'm an
Wait,
Office
wait,
stan.
hold on. If it's a TV
Okay.
show that's currently airing, will I get to see future seasons, or will I have to stop at the current one?
That's a what? I guess you get future season.
Hmm.
How far does this future seasons go? We don't
I
like
mean,
this.
I don't know however long the show goes. Like, what do you want me to say?
All right, sure. We get the whole show, beginning to
Yeah.
end. All right,
Yeah.
fine.
I have mine if you guys.
Yeah, go, Jeff.
Okay. Well, number 1 for me is Psych.
I-
Okay.
Okay.
Psych is such a good show, and they actually came out with a new movie recently. It's on like Peacock TV or whatever. I still have to go see that, but it's like I just love that show. It's just so funny. It's just so funny. The second show would be White Collar. I don't know if you guys have seen that one either, but it's based on a true story of this dude named Frank Abagnale Jr., who's like a con man, and then he eventually started working for the FBI.
Oh wait, this is White Collar's based off of him?
Yeah,
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, why aren't you watching that?
White Collar kind of takes off after that story, and if you watch Catch Me If You Can with like Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah,
and
I have.
yeah. The way that movie ends is like Frank Abagnale Jr. starts working with the FBI to solve cases, and that's kind of where White Collar starts.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so White Collar, fantastic show. My last show, I like honestly for the last show, it's a very very difficult decision. But honestly, I think I just go with the show for like sheer that has just it's just so long that like I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. I'm just gonna say Gossip Girl because I like that show a lot. And
No Office.
The Office, like it just gets boring. I mean, you can watch it over and over again, but I've already rewatched it so many times that if I have to take it to my desert island, like it's like too much.
Okay.
All right, PJ, what about you?
Okay, I will say I'm Office stan through and through. I'm gonna take it. I couldn't give 2 shits. I'm taking it.
That's because you haven't watched it as much as me.
You know what? I've watched it plenty of times. Okay.
How many times
Yeah,
have
are you challenging
watched it many,
May's
many
Office
times.
fanhood?
Okay, sure.
You can honestly ask me about anything. I'll do it. Okay, but either way,
Fine. What is the name of the race for the fundraiser that they have?
it's a really long name.
Exactly.
I know
Okay.
this is I
seen it
know
several
this is on the
When Rain
on the
Wilson
thing
and
that they ask
Billie
what's
Eilish.
her name?
Yeah,
Billie Eilish.
Billie
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Michael got a race for I remember it's some like
PJ, you're kind of
some
losing this
cancer.
battle
Okay,
here.
okay, either way, I'm taking it. I'm taking it either way.
Okay.
What else?
By the way,
So I actually wait, did we say it's current? Okay, if it's future episodes too, I'm also taking Space Force. This show, the first time I watched Space Force, like it's a fairly new show. First time watching it, I was like, this is
What do you mean
pretty
it's
cool.
apparently a new show?
What?
What do you mean apparently it's a new show? It is
No,
a
it's
new show.
it's a fairly new show.
Oh.
Yeah. So the first time I watched it, I was like, I mean, it's okay. It's pretty nice. It's cool to chill and watch. But the second time watching it, I was like, you know what? I kind of find this like fairly entertaining. And then, But I have good hopes for that show going into the future as well. Hopefully that thing will turn out really good. And then my third show, I don't know, man. There's if we include like different cartoons and stuff, maybe Rick and Morty. I really like Rick and Morty.
Okay, respect. By the way, Pranay, it's Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin, Scranton, Meredith, Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Fun Run Pro Am Race for the Cure.
Yeah. Fuck, I know
Nice.
it's too long. It's too long. I
So
couldn't
far
remember it.
off. You're so far off.
Okay, I got the first like 2-3 words.
I
Okay.
literally just said Michael Scott.
Okay, I got the first 2 words then.
Sure thing. Pranay.
I think Jith wins. I think you're
Okay.
bad, PJ.
Okay, now I go.
Okay.
Also,
First-
can I just say before Noah goes? Sorry, no. A big power move is just to take Grey's Anatomy because that show is just never gonna end. It's already like on 16 seasons and it's still going. I just want to put that out there. That's a freaking
I
power
mean,
move.
you could just say like, The Simpsons, Grey's Anatomy, Family Guy,
Yeah.
but like I feel like those shows like all after a while just kind of deteriorate in quality. Like The Simpsons
Yeah,
and Family Guy.
Honestly, like I've seen a couple episodes of like Family Guy on YouTube, and it's like the same kind of joke every time. I'm like,
Yeah,
like
but
it's
I mean,
like
you do know that. You'll get like at least a little bit of a different plot. Like
that's true. It is
it
whack.
is for
Like
the rest of your
no,
life. So I
not
mean,
a
like,
single episode is the same. The same.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, no. What are your 3?
I would say Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, just because I think that his show has been consistently funny, consistently interesting, and I'm pretty sure he's going to keep doing it for a while. Like, honestly, I don't see like John Oliver retiring anytime soon.
Okay.
I'm also gonna say I'm gonna take. See, I'm trying to figure out which animated show I should take.
Yeah, I forgot all about anime.
And
Thinking of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, just because that show's so
shit.
good.
No, Pranay, he said animated, not anime.
Animated. But either way, I still forgot about anime.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, like I don't know though. Like, okay, The Expanse definitely though. Love The Expanse. But my third, it's hard, really hard. It's also hard because I have not watched as many TV shows as I honestly should, because I have serious like attachment issues when it comes to TV. Because I know when I start a TV show, I'm not going to stop, right? So like a long TV show like The Office is really intimidating for me because I know if I start watching it and I really like it, then I'm literally just going to do nothing but wake up, watch The Office, maybe eat, probably not drink water, and sleep for maybe a week. And it's just going to destroy my life.
the entire show in 2 weeks.
It's going to destroy my
exam
life. I
season.
know that.
During exam season. Like, you're fine.
Like it's honestly going to destroy my life. So I
All
can't
right,
watch.
still missing one more show.
I'll just say the Clone Wars. Like
Okay, respect. All right, that brings us back to Cobb.
Bab.
Yeah, honestly,
Take
I'm
it all
surprised
down,
no
bad.
one, after your last episode, I'm surprised no one said Animorphs, man. Like, Animorphs pretty OP.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
We've all made a grave mistake.
Yeah, no, I would take, let's see. Well, see, we're on a desert island, so I'm going to be very logical about this.
No.
Yeah, I'll take a Bear Grylls show just for the survivability.
Okay.
What's his main one? Running Wild? Yeah, I'll take that. Plus he has like all these different ones, so yeah, I'll take that one. So that's number one.
Cobb, this is not the concept behind the desert
Well,
island.
that's the concept that I went with, so I'm taking that
Okay.
one.
wanting to stay alive. Lol.
Yeah, that is a little no. I would also take, just as a classic, I would take Tom and Jerry, just because like even if it's the same kind of scene, it's good. It's classic. I have to take that. It's all every single episode. Like even with like you guys were talking about like Simpsons, Family Guy, all the same. Tom and Jerry is the exact same plot every single time, but they do it in a very unique way each time. Like
Fair.
gets mouse. Like that's the plot of the entire show every single episode. But it's still banger every single time.
Okay. I respect that.
And then for the third one, For the third one, I'll probably. I don't know what I would say for the third one. Yeah, I'll just go with Parks and Rec just because.
Parks and Rec is a good show. Like
Yeah,
definitely.
And now
Top
that Cobb sort of mentioned like Tom and Jerry cartoons, I kind of forgot about cartoons. I'll be honest. I'm gonna replace my third one as of Gossip Girl with Phineas and Ferb because I get
Oh man,
Man,
Phineas and
so many
Ferb is a
seasons.
true banger.
Good
plus
show.
music, like actually good music, plus
Oh
like
my
just like
God.
even though it's the same plot, like it's still entertaining. So Phineas and Ferb definitely for my third one.
That is a
All
good
right,
show.
later.
That is a good show.
Dude, I love that show.
A lot
I
of
love
people
all the
do.
songs. I love all the songs.
Like I just love how like they're just able to like subvert expectations in such a fun way.
It's so funny. And Doofenshmirtz is literally
Dude,
like
Doofenshmirtz is like
he's a gem. He's a
one of the
gem.
my favorite. Like I still remember like when he was like recounting his childhood, and he was like, "Yeah, neither of my parents showed it to my
Shut
own."
up, shut up. Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. Yeah, Disney knows how to do it sometimes. They really slapped with that show.
Man, apparently they made like the creators like Phineas and Ferb made a new show. It was like what was it? Like what fuck Milo Moore's Law or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this. It's
Yeah.
something based on like Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
Is-
Milo Murphy's Law. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't watch it, but like
I've just heard of it.
yeah, I've seen it on Netflix. I've not seen it though.
Doesn't matter. Phineas and Ferb is better.
Phineas and Ferb is like honestly such a masterpiece.
Honestly, that is not my favorite cartoon though.
Really?
Yep.
Wait, so you prefer Tom and Jerry over Phineas and Ferb?
No. My favorite cartoon. I don't know. Tom and Jerry's pretty high up there,
Okay, okay.
but it's just so classic. I don't know. But also I just like the kid. Have you ever seen that show Regular Show?
A bit of it, yeah.
Oh,
I-
regular show has like that blue dude, right? He's like a
Yeah,
bird.
it's like a blue jay and a raccoon.
The raccoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
that might be my favorite cartoon of all time. Like I just love the characters in that show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like the first 4 seasons of that show were so good. After that, like there's like 8 seasons, I think, 8 or 9. The latter half was like but the first half was so good.
Okay.
I think that might be my favorite cartoon of all time.
Honestly, there's been a lot of like pretty good like cartoons recently. Like I've heard like I haven't seen Adventure Time, but I've heard that like it gets like pretty good like towards like the later seasons. Steven
Time
Universe.
looks kind of whack. Like from looking from an outside's
I
perspective,
don't know. I've never been a fan of
like
of
there's
these-
some weird stuff going on in there.
Like I don't know, like I've heard that like the first few seasons are like kind of like what it looks like on the outside, like just kind of like this like wacky ass shit, like no real driving plot, but like towards the end, like it gets a lot better. But yeah,
Yeah, cartoons. They were a part of our childhood, and they're still a part of what we watch today. But taking us to our final segment of this episode of Stating the Obvious is our debate segment because we're all debaters and we have a fun time arguing, especially with each other. At least I know Noah and I do. So, today's topic, Cop, why don't you intro our topic today?
Today's topic is a very, very highly contested topic, and it is the age-old question: would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? So,
So this will be a 2v2 debate. For this episode, the teams will be Noah and Jacob on the side of 100 duck-sized horses, and it will be me and Pranay on the side
team.
of PogChamp. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
Let's go.
you already know who's gonna win.
On the side of 1 duck-sized,
1 horse-sized duck.
1 horse-sized duck. Yes, 1 horse-sized
Right.
duck. So, yes, that's where we're at right now.
All right, you guys want to go first, or you want us to go first?
I- wait.
You guys can go first. You know,
Okay.
we'll take the second speaker.
We're gonna have what, 1 constructive
and then one rebuttal.
and then 1 rebuttal,
and then we'll
and then
come
just
One
1
crossfire.
group conversation at the end. 1
Okay.
crossfire.
because obviously what we need here is a Grand Cross.
Of course.
All right, Noah.
Okay.
All right.
Find them. Destroy their faces.
All right, I definitely will. Okay.
Nice. I like this.
All
I
right.
don't like this. No, don't do that.
All right. Starting off with our first argument on why you should fight 100 duck-sized horses. This is
Top 10.
because ducks are uniquely bad because ducks are rapists. As West 2013 states, ducks have exploding
What the-
harpoon penises that they often use to commit sexual assault. This means
What the
that
heck?
you're not only fighting an animal when you're fighting the horse-sized duck, you're fighting a horse-sized sexual offender, which means that you're not only fighting physically, you're going to have to fight it and prevent it from possibly pushing you down and sexually assaulting you. Do you really want to go through that when you can just fight the non-rapist horses? I don't think so. But beyond that, you would want to fight the horses because you have a better chance of winning. And this is because horses are extremely fragile. As the Washington Post in 2012 explains, that most horses can be basically killed if their legs, like even just like if you just fracture their legs, right? You don't even have to like do major damage to them. You just have to like break their shins and they're gone. But furthermore, large animals are inherently more dangerous for several reasons. First, because more mass equals more damage. If you're going to get hit by a big horse-sized duck, it's going to do a lot more damage than a smaller horse. But also, because because the duck-sized horses are smaller, they're also slower. You can just outrun them. But beyond that, you need to fight the whole duck when you're fighting the horse-sized duck versus 100 duck-sized horses that you can just chip away at. If you just do like a little bit of damage to them at each time, then you should be fine.
Oh, Noah.
Oh shit. Okay, he already has a timer.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know we're bringing in evidence into this too. Okay, you know what?
Noah's well
Fine.
prepared.
You know, it's
Yeah,
fine. That's fine.
I don't need to do anything.
Okay,
Exactly.
it's fine.
Exactly.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. What are we doing? Stop? No, I'm gonna do a stopwatch. I don't need a timer.
Yeah, Renee always used to use stopwatch so you could go a little bit over.
A little bit over.
All right, PJ, let's hear what you got.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go first our case, then their case, actually. Oh my god, I'm gonna do a little bit of preemptive rebuttal. You know, like the good old NL, the Colleyville NL. Okay. Starting on our side of the flow, or on our side. First, our first point is that evasion among larger animals is far easier than it is than evading 100 duck-sized horses, and there's two reasons for this. First is that biologically, Xi Young and Po Shang-se from the JOV Journal of Vision explained that for the speech size illusion, this essentially the smaller things are, the faster they're able to move, and especially with horses, they have more compact muscles, which allows them essentially to move faster than they typically do at their normal size. It is already very fast to begin with, and so evading a horse that is a duck size is actually much harder, and and also horses of these sizes, more concentrated muscles, will hurt a lot more when they're hitting in like these concentrated punches. Second is that and on that same line of thought, when you're trying to fight a horse-sized duck, these ducks are also slower, which make it easier to attack the ducks, because it's easier to evade attacks. But also, ducks are also. Noah says in his case that horses are very fragile. Horses very fragile. Ducks are even more fragile, because all you have to do is attack their feet, which are only like small pieces of bone, not even many muscles covering it. But you attack the feet, you take it out, and the duck essentially dies. It can't really chase you. You can just hit it from afar. And just really quickly on Noah's side, he says that ducks are rapists, but this is exactly why we have to fight them. We can't just be complacent with ducks and let them live their lives. We have to go kill them all.
True.
There we go.
Reach.
Yeah, there you go, Jen.
Oh, very nice.
Let's go, Jen.
All right. All right, Noah, you ready for this?
Let me
Noah,
see it.
some support, please.
Let me see this
Don't go
fire.
legit on me.
Go, Jacob.
All right, let's go. Okay, so I'll talk about their only thing about like freaking evasion,
What?
and then I'll I'll extend both our contentions now. You know that?
Right.
Oh
I
shit.
kinda go
Okay. Call
Alright.
the Jithri going for both. It's bad management. You gotta destroy him.
Yes, sir.
I'll be doing some cross application for extension.
Shit. Okay. It's not an extension, but okay.
Yeah, it is an extension.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this evasion nonsense that Pranay brings up. He's basically like, oh yeah, the smaller an animal is, the harder it is to evade. But the problem is, we don't want to evade these 100 duck-sized horses. Because remember what Noah tells you in his constructive, that they all we have to do is break their tiny little legs, and then we win this whole fight. Let them come at us. That's fine. We don't want to evade. All we have to do is break their legs, like one kick, and their legs are done. And then we destroy all the horses. Pranay says that like the duck will be much harder to evade, or much easier to evade because it's so big. And that all you have to do is take out the feet. But the problem is, its feet are going to be so ginormous when it's the size of a horse that you won't be able to take it out. And then it just comes with its bill and destroys you. Additionally, like these ducks are way more aggressive. All right, now let's go on to the sexual predator thing. He says we can't be complicit with all this nonsense, but true, we are not complicit, but we're not creating a giant sexual predator. With Pranay and Viswa, they want one huge horse-sized sexual predator. Well, we don't let that exist in our world.
That was your minute, Bob.
Yeah, that was-
Just
All right.
Just say exists in both worlds. We're just deciding which one to kill. Jit.
All right. We're gonna go a little bit faster.
Okay, let's go. Jit.
We're gonna cover all the stuff that Noah talked
Let's
about,
pop
and
off.
then,
I believe in you, Jit.
and then we're gonna talk about what Cobb talked about, and it's gonna be fun. Okay. So Noah first starts telling you that ducks are rapists. Pranay responds to this by telling you we can't be complacent. Then Cobb all of a sudden says that only in our world there are these horse-sized ducks. The thing you have to know is we are sending a message when we defeat the horse-sized ducks and make sure that all other ducks stop being racist as we have taken down the alpha. But second, Noah says horses are very fragile. The thing is, he's grotesquely underestimating the size of a duck. It's a duck, not a duckling, meaning these horses are actually going to be much bigger than they think they are. And 100 of them, it's not going to be that easy to break 200 of these legs. And I'm pretty sure Noah and Jacob will be overrun. Thirdly, Noah says large animals are inherently more dangerous, but if a duck is largely sized, it'll be much easier to evade it because in terms of mobility, we can just run around it and we can get on top of it. Once we're on top of it, we can use it to fly around, and now we can fly. So get shit on.
Yeah.
No.
Let's go. Let's go, Jit.
That is quite crazy. They want to fly around on a giant rapist.
Wait,
That is-
but like the thing is, like, wait, hold on. But the duck can
Okay.
also fly at you, so you can't get on top of it. It'll
Okay,
just
you know
fly
what? Okay, we're going to crossfire. No, are you asking us a question?
including
Is
harpoon penis.
this a question?
Okay,
Okay.
sure. So wait, so I should ask a question. Wait,
Yeah,
what's the
go
point
ahead.
of having Jane Frost if we don't have anything after that?
we're just discussing now.
Now we're
Yes.
just discussing.
It's a discussion.
Well, I think that like it's interesting that you're arguing that like once we take down the horse-sized duck, then all the ducks will be intimidated because ducks are kind of stupid. They don't they don't comprehend that you're taking it down for
We're not
sexual.
saying we're not saying like all the ducks are going to be taken down. We're just showing that we're dominating the rapists, you know?
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
There are
no
no
other-
other one less rapist in the world.
Aren't we
Like-
already kind of dominating ducks by destroying their natural habitats and destroying the world with global warming?
Well, we're talking
ducks
about a
don't
horse
have an alpha. Ducks don't have an alpha. They're not wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, once you create a horse-sized duck, then an alpha exists.
Yeah, that's because they're not the size of horses, Cobb.
Yeah, but we don't let
Very
that alpha
clear.
even exist.
I mean, like
We
the
don't let
question is
that
like,
giant-
will the ducks
Yeah,
see it as like,
instead you let 100 duck-sized horses exist, and I think you
Wait,
guys think ducks are like really freaking tiny, but they're really
No,
like
wait.
not that tiny.
okay, like we have ducks down at like Russell Creek Park by the pond, right? Like you can like see the ducks. They come up to like maybe your shins. They're not that big.
Yeah, but like kicking
100 of
400
them?
legs, kicking
Or-
400
you like-
legs is very
you like-
different than
Yeah.
kicking one leg.
As long as you break one of them, they can't run on 3 legs. They have to. If you break one of them, they're just screwed.
You can just like kick them, right? Just kick them.
Okay, but you can't kick like all of them the exact same time.
100 of them. That's the problem. You guys will just get overrun. Have you ever seen those people who are just like, there's a bunch of puppies and they just get run over? by all
They're
these
not
puppies. They just
trying
have
to
to lie there.
Attack 'em.
Okay, well, the puppies, if the puppies were trying to kill him too, then the puppies would destroy him, man. They're
The
just
puppies
biting
would
the
win.
faces
No
off.
cap. Like,
You don't want to fight the puppies. You're in this scenario. You want to fight the horses, but you don't want to fight the puppies. That's why you concede to the puppies. You concede the puppy, and you allow the puppy to overrun you. But that's not.
but the puppies would win in a similar way to which the horses would win.
But the puppies are too cute. They're too pure. They would never attack you.
What? Puppies have attacked people plenty of times. So have horses.
Wait,
duck.
no,
Ducks attack
horses
people
are
all the
normal
time.
puppies.
Look, you're confusing a duck with a goose. Okay.
Ducks attack
Wait, ducks would definitely attack people.
a lot of times.
Well,
Even like that's not.
a horse-sized duck. You literally just like kick its leg a couple of times. You dodge a couple of hits,
You
and then
are
it's dead.
You guys don't even look. The leg, like,
Big horses are.
if you
Please-
literally no, answer me this. Do ducks? Okay, the feet of ducks. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
are they webbed?
Sure.
Yeah, just
Sure,
cut it.
right?
Literally
So,
just cut it.
Literally just cut the web. They can't even walk. They're
How
done.
will you get there? How will you get to the webbing? You're literally gonna put yourself in the position where you're directly underneath the bill of the duck.
That's because
directly
we're not
in
scared.
front of
We're
the
not scared.
exploding
Yeah, we're
harpoon
not scared of the
pit.
rapists like you guys. No, we want to fight them, man.
The
We're
second,
fight it back.
the second
I
those
don't-
web feet are cut, that duck falls down, and we send a message, a very clear message to all the other ducks.
You are basically fiating that you can cut the webbing of the feet. I'm saying you never even get there because you know why? Because the duck is like aerial. It can fly.
It is slow as shit. It is
Floating
slow
harpoon.
as shit.
It has
No,
the
it
range.
just goes above you and then
The
slaps your face.
reason,
A duck can't fly forever, and especially if it's big, like the bigger things are, it's harder to fly.
exactly,
Have to fly first.
exactly.
Have you ever seen a peregrine falcon take down its prey? It comes from above and attacks the
Okay,
prey.
a duck is
while
not
it is-
a
A peregrine falcon is not the size of a horse.
What's
Oh, no. This is basic. You're basically telling me you
It's not a
want to fight this massive winged beast, right? The size of a
It can't
fucking
even
car.
fly. It can't even fly.
Let me
Like
tell you this.
So
Ask me this.
easy to
Ask me this.
tame.
Are you telling me that you want to fight basically a flying Honda Civic? That is what you're telling me.
a horse is not the
A
size of a Honda Civic.
Honda Civic.
What?
Yeah, it most definitely is.
Oh,
What
Okay.
kind of monster beast horses are you guys roaming with?
Honda Civic. Have you guys seen it?
Okay. Wikipedia says that the adult horse can
Wikipedia?
reach a mass of 2,200 pounds. Okay, that's literally a 1-ton horse.
Okay, well, what about the speed of the horse now? How fast can horses run?
Okay, yeah, but that's a horse-sized horse. Like a duck-sized horse is vastly slower. Vastly slower.
Wait, so if that concept applies to your animals, then why doesn't the opposite apply to ours?
Wait, it definitely does. You're upsizing a duck, right? You're downsizing a horse. When you
Meaning it would
downsize
be
a horse,
slower.
the horse gets slower. When you upsize the duck gets faster because it
No!
covers more ground when it moves. You
That doesn't
dumbass.
make it
Yeah, but it requires like more muscles and stuff.
Let
We're
me
not
tell you-
like saying
let
it.
me ask
It
you.
just becomes like
In-
it just
wait.
becomes like God duck.
It doesn't become the Godzilla duck.
It's just like a regular duck that is just
Dumbass.
been big sized, and it's harder for it to move too because it is so big.
Let me ask you, who wins in a foot race? Usain
Okay.
Bolt or toddler? You think that Usain Bolt loses to a toddler because Usain Bolt needs more muscles to move? No, Usain Bolt covers more grounds with his long ass legs while the toddler is still
No, because
struggling.
he also definitely has proportionally more muscles. Like he definitely has more muscles than a toddler, and that is what is and like he has proportionally more of like compared to his body, and that is why he is moving faster.
A larger
Like
duck.
if the toddler had the muscles of Usain Bolt, like man, it would be a speedy boy.
No, it wouldn't. It definitely wouldn't. You can okay. Have you been have you been outrun by an ant? No.
An ant literally does not have the muscles the size like.
It's not about the
Wait,
muscles, you
wait,
dumbass.
wait,
It's about how
Wait,
far
hold on.
with a
Wait,
single
no,
stride.
no, quiet. PJ, an ant does not have like the muscles that you do, but it has proportionally far more than you. An ant can lift 10 times its own weight. The ant has proportionally far more muscles than you, but you can still outrun the ant.
Okay, well, like, Okay, but the proportion between me and an ant is much different than a duck and a horse.
Regardless, if you just compare the intelligence levels between a duck and a horse, like horses are definitely much smarter than ducks.
So what? They're both dumber than you are. This is not a contest of wits. You're not fighting it in chess.
Which
You're
means
fighting
if they're both dumber than us, it's much easier to just beat the one big dumb animal than 100 of them that are just gonna run at you.
telling me, are you telling me that the horses are
Right?
going to use large unit
Wow.
tactics against me? Are you telling me that a horse is
Really hurt animals, man.
They'll
They're
just shoot
scared.
with their back legs. Like
Because that's not what's happening here. The horse is going to run at you. It's going to try and beat you physically. That's what's going to happen. But either
okay, you know
way,
what? No, you know what? Fine. You know what? No, we will agree to disagree.
all right, sure, fine.
We'll do this. This is. I do not think we will be able to come to a consensus.
Your arguments were stupid.
Your arguments were also
Okay,
stupid.
you're stupid.
You're talking about the duck's penis exploding.
The hell?
Wait, that's not stupidity. That's scientific fact. If you try to fight a horse-sized duck, the duck is going to try and rape you. That's what's going to happen.
What the hell? It's not a scientific fact.
Okay, that is literally not a scientific fact. Whatever.
Okay.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. So everyone who's had the patience to listen thus far, we thank you. And that'll be all for today's episode, stating the obvious.
Stupid. What the fuck? I'm out.
You will beat horse-sized duck easily.